Desde la ciudad de New York para el mundo, Latino Mixx. Latino Mixx. Dale play a tu bocina.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Lit Long Island Talks. Happy February. It's already February. I cannot believe that the year is already going by so fast. And I don't know if you guys know, but the groundhog did not see his shadow. So spring will be here before we know it. So it's time to celebrate, right? Also, Valentine's Day is right around the corner, all right? Do you guys have a Valentine's? Do you not? Do you celebrate it? Do you not? Put it down in your comments. Are you ready for early spring? I know I am. I'm ready for spring. I'm ready for summer. I'm a summer person. I would rather be hot than cold. So with that being said, we're also going to be talking. We have a great show today. We're going to be talking about customer service. We're going to be talking about Long Island. We're going to be talking about coffee, and we're going to be talking about just us as people, us as individuals and professionals. All right. So with that being said, I would like to welcome to the show our special guest today, Mr. Chris Rebetti. How are you?
Doing well, man. I mean, you kind of hit home with the Valentine's Day thing.
Yes.
I got to find one. I like the hot weather coming, but I'm doing not so great on the dating thing. So I'll work on that.
And
Thanks for mentioning it.
And let me tell you something. You know, some people don't celebrate it, right?
Is that an option?
I don't think it is. I mean, for me, I know it's not an option.
You're forced to look at it. If you don't celebrate, you got to look at it online. So
yes, of course. But you know, going back to the weather, what do you prefer?
honestly, I much prefer beaches.
Yes.
Hot weather, but without the humidities. That's the one thing I could do without. But I can't stand the snow, having to warm up the car. That's the worst thing in the world to me, like having to go out there because I don't have remote start.
Right.
I'm supposed to, but I didn't download the app. So I have to get a hold of that. But now I got to walk out. I got to actually go physically start the car and go back in the house like a jerk and then come back out 20 minutes later to get inside and leave.
You know what's one of my biggest pet peeves, Chris?
Yeah.
The layers. You know, just to layer it up and putting on maybe a turtleneck and then over the turtleneck a coat, then the scarf, then the hat if you're wearing a hat. Just the layers. I think it's time consuming, don't you think?
It is, but I don't mind it.
Okay.
My fashion goes way up in the wintertime, but when I have to wear shorts and show my legs, I don't like doing that.
Yeah, and we're also going to be talking about fashion because Mr. Chris, he's a fashionista himself, right, Chris?
You didn't know, now you know. Yes, yes, I do love fashion.
When did Chris find out that Chris liked fashion?
I'd say I was dating someone. I really wasn't good with fashion. I wore like weirdly ripped jeans, Marshalls shopper. That was my whole thing.
Sure.
Get a gift card to Marshalls, go buy everything there. So it never fit right. It never looked right. And then I had a girlfriend that totally corrected me, like put me in my place. Like, this looks like crap. You need to fix this. So went into a couple stores like Express, tried on some stuff, got fitted. And then from there, I was like, oh, this kind of feels good for my obsessive compulsive. Like, I can be compulsive about this. And it's a good thing.
Of course.
So ended up kind of taking it out into all different outfits, colors, and I like style now.
Yeah, no, and that's great, right? Because every time I see you, you're dressed to impress.
Oh, well, I appreciate that coming from you. It's like,
Oh, please. But now, like today, your outfit today, did you think about the outfit like in advance, or are you the type of people that pretty much wakes up and says, I don't know what I'm going to wear until I open up the closet and I'm ready to go?
I can't even lie. I did think of this outfit
Okay.
beforehand. I said I'm going to be going, on a talk show with Miso. So there's going to be colorful. There's going to be fitted good. I have to fall into a balance of something like that. So I went with the white, a little bit of black, just kind of counteract it. I wish there was something here, but nothing really to put there yet. But yeah, I did plan this one in advance, and it kind of worked out.
No, it really did. No, let me tell you, as soon as I saw you, I'm like, I love the white blazer, right?
Appreciate it.
But of course, with the white, you see everything, even the things that you don't want to see.
Yeah.
You know, you're always going to see it. But please have a white blazer in your closet, whether you're a guy or a girl. I think it's important.
Staple. Always,
Yes,
you have to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you were talking about the pocket square.
Yeah, this little thing. I got this. This was like $2.99 from overseas. This was a Wish.com purchase, but it matched. I saw something on Pinterest and it matched the tie that I had. So I said, let's go get it. And I kind of collect little things like that. So I get them in different places.
Sure.
So the colors will be slightly off from what they're supposed to be match.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where this is from. But I like little accents. And so you're someone that got me into accents, like little ribbons, brooches, little pins. I like that stuff. So I'm going to get better at that as I go.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Chris. And now with your profession, right? Because Chris, he's also a real estate professional. It's important, right, to look good. And of course, when you're out there with clients and showing a house or whatever the case may be, it's also your image, right? So can you tell us about how important the image is for you when you're in your field, when you're actually working?
Yeah, I think it's super important. And I feel that I've learned that people won't really believe you as much if you don't look believable. Did you put effort into yourself? If not, how are you going to put effort into me? Selling my house, negotiating for me. I think it really shows almost like a business card is how you show up. Do your clothes fit? Do they look nice? Can you be presentable? Because, they don't want to talk to a slob. They also don't want a slob talking to the people that are going to buy their house. You have to be believable. And I think that the clothing you wear is a huge role that it plays in how people perceive you.
Of course. Now, how long have you been in the real estate world?
I've been in just under 5 years. In 2 months, on my birthday in April, it'll be the 5th year.
Okay. And what led Chris to start that adventure with real estate?
Yeah, I think you're fed so many different kinds of things and ideas about real estate when you're in college. And for me, honestly, it was a backup plan. I wanted to be a fitness coach, have my own gym, have my own personal training business, go door to door and sell that, in high-end neighborhoods. Definitely the return on those sales is not as much as a real estate sale. I think a lot of people know that, but when it comes to real estate, I think that I wanted to speak to people more. I'm a people person, and if I can make a good living doing it, enjoy having conversations with humans, being myself, then it would really actually line up. And my backup plan turned out to be something I wish I discovered, 4 or 5 years earlier when I was, faking the college degree to try to just go through because I felt like I had to.
Yeah.
I would have done this a lot sooner.
Of course. And as a matter of fact, yesterday I was at a ceremony in a high school in Roosevelt, and they were saying college is not for everyone, right? I mean, we respect, the people that want to go to college, and of course they want to advance, whatever education they want to attain. However, it's not for everyone, right? So a lot of people now, they know that there are other options, right?
Yeah.
And then whether you go to college or not, as long as you do what you like, I think that's going to benefit the person in the long run.
Absolutely. And I think people, jobs, hiring, doing interviews want skills. Mm-hmm. So I think that the average, associate's degree has not been really a skill. It's just become just the same accolade.
Of course.
It's almost like wearing a t-shirt. Oh, you have your degree in associates. Very good. Liberal arts? Great.
Right.
All right. But, if you don't have any skills to bring to the table, then it's kind of at a loss. And, I was at a time where I couldn't afford to go to college. Mm-hmm. So I joined the fire department to get that for free. And then I took some courses in there because I knew my heart wasn't there. So I said, while I pass the time here and pretend I'm doing this for real, what courses can I take that will actually help me in life? So I found that was acting class. I found that was a little bit of mechanics class, so I could learn a little bit about cars. I can't do much, but just enough to save myself like $100 a year. So it's worth it. But what skills can I learn to take into the real world? Because the degree won't actually bring it.
Right, of course. Now, it's funny that you say that you actually joined the fire department, because I thought about that when I was younger. But then I'm like, wait a minute, how am I going to put on the helmet with the gel? I mean, it's going to mess up my hair.
Oh, you have no idea how bad that was.
I was going to ask
the hair was like a disaster. And it was like pre-op, so I was like balding. I was like, oh, this is like going everywhere. Then you take the helmet off. But yeah, I mean, it's the price you pay. I was like, all right, well, at least I get to go to school, which I don't even want to do. But, for the time being.
Yeah.
Let's follow the timeline here, see where it takes me.
Of course. Let's share. Let's say salute, Chris.
Absolutely, salute. What to?
For you being here today.
Oh, well, thank you for having me.
No, thank you. Salute to everyone. This is nice.
Salute.
A nice cup of coffee.
This is Starbucks. Misa won't tell you that he gets that for free.
Starbucks. Let me tell you, it's my favorite.
Yeah?
It's my favorite. Yeah, I can make coffee at home. I mean, but I just sometimes don't have the time.
Do you think there's a little too much hype around Starbucks, though?
It is a little bit,
right?
A little bit, yeah. I would have to say yes.
Good.
Now, what about you? What's your favorite cup of coffee?
Honestly, I really don't drink too much coffee anymore. I love it, but I like a lot of caffeine during my day. And if I have just a bunch of coffees, I feel heavy. I feel like I just, maybe bloated or whatever. So I've switched to Celsius.
Okay.
And not just the cans, because I feel like you have to drink the whole can. It's very, it forces you to kind of finish the whole thing. It's a lot of caffeine. So I take the packets with the powder, and I'll put them in a water bottle. And this way I can put 100 milligrams in there of caffeine. It's like a cup of coffee's worth. And it's watery. It's not heavy.
Yeah.
So I found that to be doing the trick for me right now. And that's what I'm on. But coffee, I would say Starbucks. If I was going to go for one, that's what it would be.
Yeah, no, and I prefer Starbucks. But now, what about coffee at a restaurant? Do you like drinking coffees?
Just for a little pinky up, after the meal?
Yes, right.
Just for the Instagram? Yeah.
Right.
I would say a little espresso, a shot of espresso. And if they put any I really am not that educated on it, but sometimes they put little treats or syrup in it. I don't know what it's called.
Okay.
But it's phenomenal when you have that. They
Sure.
melt it tastes like candy, like caramel.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. Now, do you take any of your clients to any restaurants on Long Island? After maybe one of the deal closes, do you treat your clients?
Yeah, I'd say one of my favorite places to go to, right outside the Roosevelt Field Mall. It's skipping my mind now, but the steakhouse that's right there. It's the Capitol Grill. That's what it is. And there you have to go during the afternoons. The lunchtime chef is phenomenal. I forget what his name is, but tell him who sent you there. He knows me. I love his steaks. It is phenomenal. It's super moist. They'll cook it just right.
Okay.
And I love taking clients there. Yeah.
What is the name of the place again?
This is the Capitol Grill.
The Capitol Grill, and it's located in?
I guess it's Garden City. It's just outside the Roosevelt Field Mall, so you'll notice it right outside. Super classy, valet parking. Bring your mom's credit card. It is very expensive.
Now, if you are alone or if you want to take a date somewhere, where would you go? Where would you recommend?
My favorite place on Long Island that I'll always stand behind, and I've gotten to know them very well there. They're like family to me. It's the Oheka Castle in Huntington.
Yes.
Right on the cove there. It's beautiful views, amazing service, and people don't realize it, but it's timeless. You go in there, and you can really enjoy the charm, the old appeal. The food is as modern as it gets. It's great. But I feel like it just combines service, views, experience. It's the full package, and it's my favorite place to go.
Now, when you're out and about, because I know you are out and about all the time, especially with your business, are you always talking about business, or do you know how to separate business and leisure? Do you know how to separate those two? And the reason why I ask is because someone actually reprimanded me the other day.
Ah.
We were having a good time and we were just enjoying ourselves, but all of a sudden, it was one of my friends. All of a sudden, I went into work mode, and then I was networking. I wasn't really having a good time with a friend. I was networking with a friend.
It comes up.
It comes
has
up.
to.
So do you know how to separate those two? Because I know I have a hard time doing it.
I mean, the reason I got here, we were speaking at 110 Steakhouse.
Yes.
You and I, a couple seats over from each other, we started talking, and then we both immediately clicked into business. I complimented, I think it was your outfit. You gave the same back. Literally,
Yes.
why? What else would we be saying, right? But that's exactly how it happened. And then we started talking about business, and you were in banking, and I was in real estate. And I said, well, we need to have a relationship
Yes.
here. At some point, something's going to come up. We can help each other, help service a client. And so we didn't separate it then. I find that it always comes up, but it's good to have breaks and talk about real life things.
Sure.
Not that it's not, but your personal life as well. It's super important to incorporate both.
Yeah. Now, do people tell you that when you're out with them? Do they say, "Can you stop talking about business because we're here for a different thing"?
If you mention business, I'm going to make sure I get your phone number, your email, and your Instagram, and then we can move on.
Right.
The
Exactly.
follow-up is going to come through. My follow-up is like no other. But once I get your contact, we can move on.
Right. And you know what? You said it. We met at 110 in Huntington. It's a beautiful, not Huntington, Melville. It's a beautiful restaurant. The food is amazing. The drinks are really great. And we saw each other, and I'm like, wow, that's something that I would wear. And I think you said the same thing to me.
Yeah.
And that's how we connected.
Yeah.
Right? Because I think it's all about connection. It's all about connecting with the other person.
A natural connection too,
A
right?
natural
Nobody had to
connection.
fake anything. That's just we're two guys that like style a lot, so it makes the most sense we'd bond over that. And yeah, people sometimes, I think an issue with networking is they'll try to force it. Or you're at a networking event, here's my card.
Right.
Well, would you work with the person that just gave you their card, or someone that you know is a human being as well and understands how to handle a client, a relationship, a person.
Right, because I believe in building rapport, right, with
Yeah.
the person, and if that doesn't happen, then it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a huge part.
Of course, of course. Now, you mentioned fashion. We were talking about fashion a little bit. What is your favorite fashion statements? Like, let's say if you are watching the Grammys, or if you're watching a red carpet event, or just watching your closet, what are you thinking? What is it that Chris is thinking about? Like, do I have to match? Do I have to go with the trends? What do you think?
I think you can get away with setting your own trend as long as you follow a couple of basic principles, as long as the clothes fit. Okay, they have to fit your body. If you just go and, someone will buy a $3,000, $5,000 suit and it doesn't fit. It has shine, but it doesn't look quite right. Their body doesn't accent in the perfect places. So it has to fit. The second thing is the color balance. So it's like with you, I mean, you have a perfect kind of shot of light, dark, it mixes in. If you were to just go like all dark, all solids on that, you'd look like a wall.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? A tan wall.
A tan wall.
I love it.
No, and it's great, right? Because we were talking about this yesterday when we were, we were on the phone, and you admire women's fashion, right?
Yes,
What
very
is
much.
What is your favorite part about women's fashion?
I the same thing I would say for men. I like the design of, not necessarily with women, the colors, but the actual cuts, shapes, and design on those. So I like anything where you can accent, again, a body, a stature, and kind of combining that with the right pair of shoes. I go OCD for that stuff. So that's a passion of mine. And if I was to, risk it and start another business, that would be where you'd find me, is women's fashion.
So what makes you cringe? What makes Chris say, oh, that shouldn't happen when it comes to fashion?
Oh, man. I mean, when someone tries something and they're trying it, like if they don't have the confidence, because a lot of times confidence can pull off anything.
Yeah.
Because it's just how you present it. But if they're missing that, and I know they're trying something new, it's different for them, then it can go totally south for me, and I don't like that. That's one thing that I'll cringe about. But there's no particular style that I just walk around hating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when does your jaw drop?
Wow. You'd have to, you don't have to do anything. I mean, certain times it's just one thing that I love. But I love a good fit. I mean, anything. Even if you just bought something very cheap, it doesn't have to be expensive. I think fitted clothes are the best clothes. Doesn't matter material, where you got it, price tag. As long as they fit your body, and everyone has a different body, so it'll take different shapes, different sizes for that. But as long as it fits.
Yeah, no, and I totally agree, because I'm out and about just like you on a daily basis. And sometimes I see people wearing something that they shouldn't be wearing.
Yeah.
And I respect any type of body, of course. You have to embrace what you have. You have to embrace your body. But you have to know what to put on that body.
Yeah. Some people are still figuring it out,
Some people still, yeah.
I get that. I'm with you, but we have the right to get aggravated by it.
We just don't say it. We just
Of course.
stay quiet.
Nothing.
We don't say anything. Because I've also seen people with a perfect body, but they show it off too much.
Yeah.
Let's say, especially during the summer, six packs and muscles, and they just wear nothing, and they just want to show off the body. That's also something that I cringe about. I'm like, that's a little too much.
It's like a fake confidence. Yeah.
Right.
It's what is that called? Overcompensating or something like that. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I'm with you on that. That's the ick for me too.
Yeah, right. So now going back to the restaurants, and we met in Melville. What restaurants do you recommend in Nassau County, because that's where you're from?
Yeah, I did a video, like steak is my favorite thing. So would you say like best steaks, like where to go for that?
Sure.
I did a video on this, and I put it on TikTok, and I put the top 3 steakhouses that I loved, and people just ripped me apart. I don't know what it is about TikTok, but people just feel like they can just go into your comment section and leave the worst comment and then just leave.
Yeah.
And they have like 3 followers, and it's an avatar on the picture. But I made this video, and I said that the best 3 steakhouses that there are were like an Insignia, Capitol Grill, and I believe the third one was... it wasn't Ohika Castle, but it was up there with them. And I love those 3. If you want a classic experience, you want to really enjoy the food,
Sure.
Your waiter's going to make you feel amazing. The hostess, everyone that takes care of you there, it's going to be a phenomenal experience. 10 out of 10 would definitely be like an Insignia, a Prime, or a Blackstone out in Melville as well. That's another one, Capitol Grill.
Yeah.
Phenomenal experience.
Yeah, I love Prime. I love Insignia. And yesterday, I was telling you that I went to Argyle Grill in Babylon. Delicious. The food is amazing. The drinks were phenomenal. And I recommend, if you ever want to go to Argyle, let me know. We'll make it happen.
Let's do it. Yeah, I've heard of it. Just haven't tried that one out yet. Sometimes I don't get a chance, but I'm always looking for the next coolest thing because, when people already know about certain things, I want to have the cool hookup that people don't know about. You may have it right now, so we got to see.
Right. And have you ever been to Babylon? Do you like Babylon?
I've been to Babylon when I was in college. So at this point, about maybe 6-7 years ago. And, it was fine. I felt like it was a bit of a younger crowd for where I am today.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, more so over the years, I've gotten into like more crowded places, but also where there's seating areas and I could sit down and be chill. I felt like in Babylon, there was a lot of places where you're uppity, you're going, you're kind of up and about. I mean, what places do you like out in Babylon?
Well, right now, my favorite place since yesterday is the Argyle Grill. But I also like Verdi's. There's a Japanese restaurant. Right now, I forgot the name. I like the crowd. Now, like you said, I prefer an older crowd, not too much of a younger crowd. Of course, if you go to a regular bar that's open until 4 o'clock in the morning, you're going to see the younger people.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that we already outgrew. Right?
Oh, 100%.
And we're still 21, so I don't understand.
What are people saying?
Right. Now, when people ask Chris, what is your biggest pet peeve? What is your biggest pet peeve?
Give me a category.
Let's talk about food. Or you know what? Let's talk about customer service. Why don't we talk about customer service? What is your biggest pet peeve when it comes to customer service?
When it comes to like me dealing with the customer?
When you are the customer.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
You're experiencing customer service.
And some places will do this, right? If you're up on the North Shore, they actually are told to be rude to you so that you kind of want to like overcome them and spend the money. So I know that that's a thing, and certain times people will be rude. And I've learned to actually leave that behind, kind of like it. I hate when someone oversells me something. They're being super nice. I know you don't actually care. You're kind of faking it. You can see it in their face. It's kind of like a mask. So I want someone to be genuine. And I could tell if someone's having like an irritable day and, they kind of give me, not the happiest smile. I like that more because it's actually genuine. And I could connect with that too, because we've all been there. We're all humans. I think the more human you can be, the better. The less human, the more fake. And I can see it. And like your personality, that's what drives me off the wall. I hate that.
Yeah. And something that I hate the most is when you go, let's say a restaurant, right? And either the bartender or the wait staff, they just have they don't even smile. It's like they don't want to be there. They don't want to work, or they're just having a miserable day. Something that my family always taught me: if you're having a miserable day, you don't want to go to work, just call out sick, because people, they're gonna tell. They could tell. We can tell.
Yeah.
Right? That someone doesn't want to be there, or they're just having a miserable day.
Yeah.
And then when we try to be nice to them, and you just get that straight face, then we kind of feel a little funny about that, right? Because we are like, ugh.
It's a shame because it's a skills business. Some people are really skilled when it comes to serving food or pouring a drink. I tried being a waiter once, and I poured the water all over the table because I couldn't get it to go in the glass. It was just, I'm not skilled in that way. But certain people make it look really cool, really enjoyable experience. And when someone's having an off day, it does affect their income because they're not going to get tipped as well as they would if they were on it, but we can't always be on it. So maybe workplaces should have something in place, a panic room, whatever you would need, so you can get people back on track if they're having a bad day.
So now it's funny that you bring back that you try to be a bartender at one point, because when we walked into the set, we have coffee, of course, and we were pouring the coffee to these little mugs from a bigger mug. So I gave Chris the bigger mug to put into the little mug, and he told me, I think, Miso, you're trusting me too much with this.
Yeah.
Right?
It's not a skill of mine. I'm pouring things I'm not good at. I already know.
Well, had I known that story about you trying to be a bartender, then I think I would have poured it for you.
Well, that was the thing. I did bartending too. That was when I was doing, so imagine you're at a table with a family.
Yeah.
And you're about to get your food, and I'm pouring, the waiter comes, and I'm pouring everyone's water, and I just start missing every glass. That was me as a waiter, okay? But as a bartender, I somehow would get it good, because you had the guns, everything is smaller spout, you could just shoot it right in, shot by shot, That I was quick, no problem with. But when it came to waitering and having the big, like paddle of water, that's when I would miss everything.
Yeah.
I put it in the food. Like I was bad. It was bad miso.
Yeah, no, and I tried to be a bartender when I was in my early 20s, when I was like 21, 22.
Yeah.
And the same thing, someone asked me for a, what's it called? Shirley Temple. I didn't know what a Shirley Temple was. So I'm like, okay, so what do I put in this drink? So from memory, I'm trying to put things together in the glass, and I added a little bit of vodka.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
In someone's shirt. How old were they?
They were like about 17 or 18, but little that I knew that a Shirley Temple is supposed to be for kids.
Yeah. What happened after that?
You know what? I quit.
Quit or fired?
No, because they never found out.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, no, they never found out. I think I stayed with the job for like about another week or so because I knew it wasn't, it wasn't, I wasn't happy.
Yeah.
And I wasn't giving it my 100%,
Oh, totally.
When you're not giving it your 100%, then you're, let's move on and do something else.
You have to.
Yeah. So what are the next steps for Chris? What is it? What's Chris going to be in the next 5 years? How do you envision Chris?
Yeah, I mean, at this point in my career, I'm focusing a lot on my sales, of course, working with buyers, sellers for real estate, gathering referrals over the years, but I also want to expand as well. So bringing agents to want to get on board with me, not to go out and pull people away from where they are, but if I can add something to their business, help them better service their clients, help them do it in a more efficient way, get time back with their family. Some of these people are older when a lot of, real estate agents are a bit older in their lives and they need time to spend with family and they just don't have the tools or the setup to be able to do that. So if I could give someone their time back, help their business perform better, and they like the idea of teaming up with me, then that's what I'm also looking to do over the next 5 years as well, and help as many agents as I can, as well as people that need to buy and sell.
Of course. Now, have you ever thought about possibly making or opening up your own real estate? Is that a possibility, or is that something that you don't really want to do?
It's always a possibility, but I'd say I've just learned so much about expense, liability, and the real risk of going and doing that.
Sure.
As where I'm at now, a lot of that overhead is taken away. I don't have to worry about, I don't have to put my face on something for it to be great and to feel good about it. But, if we can have the same level of performance, make more money doing it this way than going ahead and trying to staple myself to the whole project, then I'm totally fine and on board with staying and doing exactly what I am now.
Sure. Now, what about 10 years from now?
Wow.
Yeah, now we're really talking far.
After all of my Bitcoin has hit $1 million, yes.
Because not for nothing, because I was talking to one of the directors yesterday, and I said, you know what? I see Chris having a private jet in 10 years.
Private jet?
Yeah. And possibly an island.
Well, that I've looked into. There are some
Really?
islands. You just have to secure them. That's the only problem. Is
Okay.
There's no real government watching over it.
Uh-huh.
So things like pirates and all that, it actually exists. People that take over the islands and stuff. I've looked into that. As far as jets, I've heard they're very expensive to actually maintain. And you're talking obviously crazy net worth that you have to acquire one, but to service one, there's so much that goes into it. I don't think I would ever want a jet.
Really?
Maybe just borrow someone else's.
Okay, you can borrow mine.
Okay, great. Thank you.
But that's going to be in the next 5-10 years. So.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so now.
Helicopters, though. Have you ever been in one?
I have, yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, I used to pilot an R-22.
I didn't even know this. Okay.
Yeah, that was when I was in my mid-20s out of Farmingdale, and it's such a great experience.
I think so. Have you, at night, a night flight around the city?
I haven't done the night, but I've done morning and dusk.
Okay, so a good amount of
yeah.
Sunset colors and all
Absolutely.
that. Some people are crazy. They're taking the doors off. They're above the Freedom Tower. That is too much adrenaline for me.
I did it with the doors off over Fire Island.
And what, are you belted in?
Of course, yeah. No, you're belted in. You have the seat belts on. But it's a very gratifying experience. I think it's really phenomenal. So I recommend it. I did that, and then I also did the Cessnas.
What's that?
Yeah, the one engine airplane.
I haven't seen those. So those ones coming out of Farmingdale?
Yeah, the little ones.
Okay,
Yeah.
Airport Plaza over there?
Yes. So I've gone around Fire Island. I've gone all the way out east.
Are those the ones you see landing on the Southern State Parkway when they run out of gas?
Those are the ones that, yes.
Okay.
Exactly, yes. Those are the ones that are, yeah.
That happens, right? I'm like,
It
oh my
does.
God.
Thank goodness, knock on wood, that's never been, hasn't been an experience yet.
That
So,
way.
yeah, so if my family's listening, that's not going to happen. So when are you going to fly?
Like learn to fly it?
Or be a passenger on a helicopter, because you could also rent a helicopter out of Farmingdale.
Yeah, well, I've done the, flying in the helicopters, but to go rent one, charter one, I looked at some of the pricing, and it's actually not terrible. But to go to like a nice trip to Niagara Falls, you want to get up there, see it at night, you could go above the city, above the falls. I didn't realize it looks like, you died and went to heaven. It's so colorful.
Right.
It's one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. So that's on my list of things to do. Partner up with like 6-7 people, go up there for a weekend. That's something I'm definitely going to look into with the flights.
Yeah, no, you let me know.
You come.
Yeah.
Good.
We'll make it happen.
Good.
And I'm telling you, it's an experience that I recommend. If you don't like flying, you're not going to like it.
Yeah.
So it's either you like it or you don't.
If you know you don't like it, definitely don't do it.
Yeah.
It's a bad experience.
No, because every time I go up, I don't tell my parents until I land.
They can't know.
Yeah, they can't know, because every time I go up, I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to tell them anything, because I know I'm going to hear it.
Yeah.
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 Now, what about your family? Can you tell us a little bit about your family? Your parents, where are they from? Are they originally from Long Island? What's your background?
Yeah. So my dad is all Italian. My mom is half English, half Irish. They met on a train ride from Long Island Railroad into Penn Station. They bumped into each other because it's like a classic, like how you meet someone in a movie. Just bumped into each other because it was so crowded in the train. Oh, sorry, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Happened again like another month later. Okay, they had that bump into each other. Hi, all right, now we'll introduce myself. Sorry, whatever. He flirted, I guess. I don't know. And then, I don't know, a few months later, saw her on the train platform, had 2 Rangers tickets, said, come to the game with me. That was the first date, so that's how they met. It's like the perfect way to meet, and honestly, they have a really great marriage. I'm blessed to have the family and the upbringing I did, and they're great together, so I idolize their relationship a lot.
That's beautiful. Do you have any brothers or sisters?
Yeah, no, I have a sister, and I have a half-brother. I had a stepsister. She passed away 2 years ago.
I'm sorry to hear that.
No, appreciate that. And, we as a family come together, do the best we can, and, I guess I'm the youngest, so I didn't have too much, going on in the household. I'm 4 years, below my blood sister. And so everyone was usually just out and about. I was the last one to leave, and I got all the attention, everything I ever wanted. It was great.
That's awesome. And with your work and your profession and your networking, does it ever get tough to be around your family? Does it ever... Is it complicated for you to get together with your family because of your job and what you do on a daily basis?
I try to set up days where I'll go see them and we'll go get like a dinner or something, or I'll take them out for their birthdays. And I like having that. It makes those moments a lot more special.
Sure.
So if you could be present, some people are just totally out the window with their career and what their activities are during the day, that they don't actually get to be present. So they may see their family very often, but the moments aren't as great. So I can definitely, thankfully say that we have a great relationship. We're fully present when we see each other. And so even if it's once a week, twice a week, or even if it happens to be like 3 times a week, it's a great week.
Yeah.
But we're all fully there and we enjoy the time.
That's beautiful. Now, what about a significant other? What about a girlfriend? When do you have time to look for one?
Oh, it's fun. Yeah. The dating scene is, people say it's rough. I think that you just have to be who you are. If you're trying to just force something, if you're trying to fake someone, it's very sensible in this day and age. And, you have to be yourself. So right now I could say, I'm dating, I'm enjoying it. I just got done seeing someone, or they got done seeing me. I don't know how that works.
A little bit of both, maybe. I don't know.
No, it's crazy out there. Dating in New York is a different self than it is dating in Long Island.
I would say, Chris, you're probably done seeing them. I mean, how can someone be done seeing you?
Oh, I got outmatched.
Did you really?
Yeah, I got very outmatched on this one.
Okay.
Do you want to hear the story?
Of course.
Right.
Tell us.
She's, part-time Miami, New York. She's doing that route. And I'm like, I have a busy schedule, so that might kind of work. I'll just, nothing serious. We'll just see where it goes. And she goes back and forth. So she's in Florida, and we're texting one night. It was like a Thursday night, and she just stopped answering. And I was like, oh, it's a weird spot to like not answer like in the conversation. So I'm like, all right, whatever. So I go on Instagram and she's on live and she's in a VIP section with Trey Songz.
Okay.
And then right behind her, out of nowhere, Tyga comes up and just wraps his arm around her. He's got like this big champagne. He's sticking his tongue out. And I'm like, oh, he's about to do what he raps about doing.
Right.
And I don't think that I can compete with that. So we're done with that relationship. But it wasn't even a relationship. It's kind of like, that's the thing. There's no titles on things these days. So I don't really know what to call dating.
Well, I think that people have to like you for who you are, not for what you have.
Yeah.
You know, that's important. So if you already saw that and you got that gut feeling, that wasn't the person for you. You know why? Because that person is probably going to look for someone else that's got more, and she may never find it. You know what I'm saying? But the true person, the true soul, the true heart,
Keep going.
She already lost.
Go ahead.
So, ladies, Chris is single. Okay, just saying.
We know the interest rates, but we're not interested. Thank you.
No, Chris. Now, when you speak about, you know, her being in Miami, you being in New York, how do you feel about long distance relationships?
My first ever relationship was a long distance relationship. Mm-hmm. She was in Rockland County, New York, which is a bit upstate from here. You know, we're in Hauppauge today, but I guess coming from Queens, that would be like an hour and change up. And, you know, that was an okay relationship. It was tough, but I wouldn't want to, like, seriously be in it long term doing that. I think that that's a very temporary thing. If someone just, hey, I have this job thing, I really got to be long distance for the next 2-3 months, whatever it is, I think you can work around that, right?
Sure.
But if that's going to be a forever thing, I don't think that works.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I don't think it works. I mean, it may work for some people, but it doesn't work for me.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry if we offended anyone. It's not my style.
We're just being honest today. You know, we're talking about everything, so anything goes.
Put it all out there.
Yeah.
Be who you are, right? At least
Absolutely.
we're authentic.
Absolutely. And Chris, if somebody wants to reach you, if somebody wants to get in touch with Chris regarding real estate or, you know, maybe coaching someone about real estate, how can they reach you?
Yeah, you guys can definitely Instagram direct message me. If you go into my Instagram, it has a link to my website that has my numbers. You'll come across me or my assistant, Jackie. Someone will definitely be able to get in touch with you, but all of my links and my contact is really through Instagram, so you can find everything there in ways to contact me. And that, I'd say that's the best way to do it.
Okay. Telephone number, website?
Yeah, it's chrisrebettigoldbar.com. That's, again, it's on all of my social medias. That's going to have my telephone number, my email address, and that's the easiest way to get anything you need on me. Social security number, all of it.
I hope you don't have that there.
No.
Okay.
Not a shot.
Okay. And I cannot thank you enough, Chris. No, thank you for being here today. You are such a great professional, great person altogether, great friend. And just by listening to you talk and listening to your adventures and your plans, future plans, Chris, I think the sky's the limit for you.
Well, thank you.
So I think we want to say salute one more time.
Yeah, salute, man. Cheers. Thanks for having me.
No, thank
you know,
you.
I appreciate it. Sometimes, you know, I just talk and no one listens, so it's good if people do.
Listen, if they don't listen, shame on them, because you are an encyclopedia of a person.
I like it. I'll take that. I'm going to tell my mom that.
Please do. Please do. So thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, lit Long Island Talks _MS. And of course, we want to thank Latino Mixx, the whole crew, the directors, the camera guy, everyone. We want to thank Trip. Thank you very much for always putting this together. Anna, she's waving right there. Chris, final thoughts?
Make sure you follow this Long Island Talks. He's going to have some amazing guests on here. He already has. And the conversations they're local, they're important, and they're fun. So if you want to meet some really cool people, watch some really cool people in conversations, this is going to be where you find it. Thank you for having me on.
No, thank you, Chris. And I think we need another show with you, because I think we have so much to talk about that I think we missed so many bullet points.
Yeah, if they could bring the cameras to Argyle, we'll just have it there.
Hey, why not, right? Thank you, Chris. One more time.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And again, Long Island Talks on Instagram with Latino Mixx. Don't forget to download the app, okay? Have a good day, everyone. Take care.